Okay. No one has joined us yet. Well, nobody's here. Oh, somebody else is here. Don't know who it is. Say hello, whoever it is. Oh, it's Dana. Hi, Dana. Walter is here too, but he's changing his shirt and I don't know what else. But he'll be back here in a second. So, how's the temperature, Dana, out in Regina? We'll give everybody else a little bit more time here. Maybe everybody's recovering from Valentine's Day. Oh, Mel's here. Hi, Mel. Oh, much more seasonal. Yeah, today's not too bad here either. The sun is sort of shining. And it's not too bad. It's about +1. Maybe spring is around the corner. Who knows? Could be. So, Mel, how are things in Finland?
Finish.
Hmm?
Finish.
Finnish.
Finish. It's Finnish.
Oh,
It's Finland. It's Finnish.
okay.
Never mind.
I know. That's what you say if you talk about people from Finland. They're Finnish.
Yeah.
Whatever. Sitting on my lap or what?
No.
Jeez, well, you're kind of close. Move over. Oh, Chris is here. Hi, Chris. Oh, Mel says they're having a storm.
Uh-oh.
Snowstorm? I would assume. But maybe not. Okay, so you're back together now.
Yeah.
Oh, look, you changed your shirt. Oh, wow. Why? Oh, surprise me, surprise me. I don't know what that means, Mel. No, it's that Dennis. I have a feeling your spell checker kicked in on you. I don't know. Anyways, what are we drinking? I don't know. What are we drinking?
Pound of strawberries mixed up with raspberry vodka and limoncello.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's a healthy drink. It has strawberries in it. Okay, so today we're just going to talk. We don't have a specific topic. We're just going to talk to each other, talk to you, and see what happens. Dennis storm that has been going around Europe, killing people in the UK and Sweden. Oh, okay. I didn't realize they had named it. And Dana says -4, feeling like -10. Sun is shining, sky is blue out in Regina. Chris says, my husband has mowed our 2-acre backyard 2 weeks in a row due to rain. The last time we mowed was over 2 years ago. We're so glad it has rained here. We have needed to rain so bad we don't mind flooding. Yeah, I guess now you've gone from fire to flood, I suppose. Kathy's here. Hi, Kathy. But at least, Chris, it sounds like the worst of the fires are over with and they're under control, and that's great news. Yeah, Chris says, in biblical weather. Yeah, when are the locusts going to come down on you, eh?
Well, we got plague, so.
Yeah, we've got plague. We've had, let's see, fire, floods, plague. I'm seeing a trend. Don't like to think about it. And the Antichrist is in the White House in the States. So, maybe Revelations wasn't so far off. Hi, Bonnie. Yeah, Chris says bugs will be next. Yeah. Oh, well, what can we do, eh? In 100 years, different people. So, what's been going on? We're just going to chat today, but do our usual update on my mother. She's fine. Nothing new there to talk about. Same old, same old. Tried to call her before we went on air. She didn't answer, which is usual. So, I'm sure if she was dead, someone would call me. So, whatever. Um, just had my giant dahlia class today from 10 o'clock until about 1:30. And not going to be that hard. It has Y seams in it, and I learned how to do Y seams today. Y seams aren't all that difficult. They're annoying, but they're not that difficult. Mel says, can't remember this kind of winter. This year we haven't got any snow here in southern part. It's been raining almost every day since autumn, and it's warm. Plus Celsius all the time. Usually minus 20 to minus 30 this time.
Yeah. We've been pretty much warm most of the time too. Last week we did have a day that was minus 20, but then the next day it went right back up again to 3 or 2.
So is this all really global warming? I do believe in global warming, but what I'm going to say is that we've only been keeping weather records for about 100 years. Maybe the cycles that weather goes through is larger than 100 years.
Yeah, but don't you think that maybe like 100 years ago there wasn't all the industrialization that
True.
today, and there weren't as many people either.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's what I said. I said I do believe in global warming, but sometimes all of these everybody blames global warming on, drought and the floods and everything, and whether or not we're having a warm or a cold winter.
They can go back in time and see how cold the Earth has been for like centuries now.
Well, yeah, I guess. Got really cold during the Ice Age.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know. Bonnie says, here in New Brunswick has been warm, not much snow. Minus 21 day last week, and now it's warm again. Well, yeah, our temperatures here have been going up and down too. Now,
normally it's really cold January and February, and this year it hasn't been.
Yeah, but I don't know. If you look at, they said they did some tracking of this, what we had last year, and they're saying that last year was not much different than from this year in our weather. We have short memories.
Yeah, well, I do remember that when in the 80s, we had one winter when it was warm all winter.
Yeah, we've had winters like that before, even before everybody got all uptight about global warming. But again, I'm not saying there isn't such a thing as global warming. Yes, I do believe we've screwed up the environment. No two ways about it. But sometimes I think the media grabs onto these storms we might have and blame it all on global warming. And maybe it's just weather. Maybe it's just nature. What's Alexa trying to do over there?
I don't know.
She's listening to us. Stupid bit. Well.
Did you get something delivered today?
Oh, yeah. Alexa, what are my notifications?
One new notification from Amazon Shopping. For Stephen, digital caliper has arrived.
So where the heck is it? Is it
Probably
sitting
on the
doorstep? So anyways, Mel says, I think part of this is because of global warming, but there are always times when weather is strange. Last time we had really warm winter around 10 to 11 years ago. And Chris says, yes, I think it is a combination of both. And also we have expanded into areas that we have not lived in before, actually changing the lie of the land as we go. Yeah, those are all true things. But something good is in this much lower electricity bill. Yeah, maybe for you, Mel. But
surprise!
Not here. Yay, my Amazon, my calipers. Ooh, we'll do a reveal. And I'll explain why I have calipers. Bonnie says, we had a lot more snow last year here, and January is extremely cold. What about the glaciers melting? Yeah. Yeah, true. But again, I'm just playing devil's advocate a little bit. As I said, I do believe there is a problem with our environment and it's man-made and we've screwed it up. No two ways about it. But I'm just wondering if maybe glaciers melting is something that has happened in the past.
Yeah, but they're melting faster than they have in the
Well,
past.
how do they know?
They can measure that stuff. They can see how much it recedes every year, and it recedes more now.
And yet they don't have a cure for the coronavirus.
Yeah, well.
So, let's get our priorities straight. Yeah, well, I guess. I don't know. But it's sort of like that thing, when I was a kid, I remember the winters were always very cold and very snowy, and we used to have to walk to school 50 miles uphill both ways right into July. So the story goes. So what's in the Amazon bag? I don't know. How do you open it?
Very carefully. One
There, they have a little easy zip top. Ta-da! What did we get from Amazon? We got digital calipers. I got thinking about this morning. I was going to check. I have a feeling I have a pair of these.
Wow.
Or I had calipers, not maybe digital ones. So they only cost $13. That was including tax, and it was free shipping. Why did I get digital calipers? I don't know. It's to measure the thickness of things, like Walter's head. I don't know. I got them because I have a Cricut, as you know, and I saw somebody was using their calipers to measure cardstock and chipboard because the Cricut has a limitation on how thick your material can be, and they were using these to see if they could get, it in the Cricut or not. But I also thought, hey, it's kind of cool. It's digital, on, off, 0. So, seemed to work pretty good. Let's see. My pen is 532 millimeters.
I think my thread broke.
Oh, did it? Well, your machine's not running. Walter's embroidering in the other room, and he thinks his thread just broke. Anyways, these are digital calipers. So, if you're in the need, go to Amazon. They come in various prices, but I got pretty much the cheapest ones on there, and these seem to be pretty good. Seem to work okay. How often will I use them? Probably never, but we'll see. It's a toy. I like toys. You know that. So, what are people saying? I'm just catching up here. Chris says our electricity is getting dearer here. Yeah, well, our electricity is always expensive here. Can you measure the thickness of paper with them? Yes, Chris. That was the idea. That's why I got them. So, for example, here, there's a piece of card in here. I guess I should set it to 0. Oh, you can do it in millimeters or you can do it in inches. How many hard to translate? Okay. So that's in inches now, and then if I push this button, I get millimeters. Turn it to 0, okay. And let's just see how thick this card is. Okay, according to this is 0.8 millimeters, this card. I think a Cricut will cut up to 0.5 millimeters. I'm not sure, I'll have to check that. So yes, it measures card. It was Nikki the Booksmith. If you've ever heard of Nikki the Booksmith, she has a YouTube channel and she makes journals and hardcover books and things like that all the time. And she's the one that I saw using these, and I thought, it's not a bad idea for what they cost because they're not an expensive item. Also, it'll do an inside measurement too with this end of it. So yeah, that might come in handy for something. So and it's got an on-off button. It's run by a battery. Imagine it takes one of those disc batteries. Yeah, pretty easy to use. Instructions are on the back. Yeah. Yeah, so it seems to do okay job. So yeah, it does measure paper. Oh yeah, Chris says, have you seen the Cricut Joy? It looks so cute. Yeah, I was going to talk a little bit about that today. My first impression of it. Can it measure GSM paper thickness? Well, GSM is based upon the weight of the paper in a ream. So you can measure individual piece of paper, like, okay, I got an individual piece of paper here. Let's just see what it does. Okay, turn it on. Set 0. Hold that for me, please. Okay, let's see here. Point 0.1 millimeter of copy paper. It says that that's what that is. I'm not sure exactly how accurate these are. I mean, after all, calipers can be real expensive depending. But I think this would give you an idea. So if you needed that, like I said, the Cricut cuts various sizes or various thicknesses of cardstock and chipboard, but it does have its limitations. So if you weren't really sure, you just plug these on and go, okay, that's fine. Before you get it all hooked up onto your mat and wreck your material that you're trying to cut because it can't cut it. So
Mel says GSM is kilograms per square meter.
yeah, see, in North America we don't go by GSM. We go by pounds per, or I'm not sure, but we don't go by GSM. It's whatever the linear conversion is to it. So for example, thick cardstock, really thick cardstock's 110. We call that 110. So I think that means that, I don't know what that means.
Isn't it like pounds or whatever? Yeah.
I think it's pounds. So a ream of 110 cardstock would be 110 pounds.
I don't know.
No, that doesn't make sense. Maybe it has to do with, I don't know. Have to look that one up. I'm not sure. Mel says GSM is kilograms per square meter. So maybe it's pounds per square yard or foot. I don't know for us. I have to look that up. Walter's looking it up. So backing up here. Bonnie says, have you tried making cards with your embroidery machine yet? No, I haven't. In fact, that was suggested to me, and it might have been you, I'm not sure, way back some time ago, and I was going to give it a try, and I haven't tried it yet. The only thing I'm a little concerned about is whether or not it would basically perforate the card so much that the image you're putting in it might drop out, but maybe I should give that a try and see what would happen. Okay, put that note to self. Try making cards, see what that does.
So GSM is grams per square meter.
Yeah, paper. Yeah, Mel says GSM is measured by square meter. Okay. So, but what, we don't measure it in that
No.
here in North America.
So far, I haven't found anything that
Oh.
really explains it.
Hi, Anita.
Because we do have weights by like 20 pound weight, 20 pound bond, 50 pound text weight.
Yeah. Dana says a ream of paper is 500 sheets. Yeah, I know that. But when you go to the store, and you look at a ream of paper and it tells you it's 100 pound or 90 pound or 110 pound, that kind of thing, that's kind of what we're talking about. But I'm not sure if that...
They're still talking about GSM even though it's like referring to pounds of paper. So...
Well, sometimes when you buy a ream of paper, you'll get both on it.
Yeah, okay.
It'll so I don't know. Mel says U.S. paper is measured in pounds per ream. But that doesn't make sense. Because I've bought a ream of 110, well, no, maybe not. It wasn't probably 500 sheets in it. If a ream is actually, I wonder if a ream is standardized at 500 sheets of something. Because when I buy a 110 pound cardstock, I don't get a 500 sheet package of it. So does that mean if there were 500 sheets of 110, it would weigh 110 pounds?
Somehow I don't think that's right.
That doesn't make sense to me. But maybe. Yeah, Kathy, that might be a good idea. Probably have to put a little stabilizer onto the back of the card too. Because I think the holes would, as it's going through, would be too close together and it might make the paper just, like a punch out kind of a thing. Mel says U.S. bias weight. Bias weight is based on weight or pounds. Okay, now we're getting really technical over this. All I said was I got a pair of digital calipers to measure the thickness of my paper. And suddenly we got into a discussion on reams and GSM and pounds per whatever. Okay, I'm not sure. Chris
It says here 80 pound text is 120 GSM.
Okay, but that still doesn't tell us where do they get that number from.
No, I know. It doesn't tell you what 80-pound weight is.
I don't know. Chris says, looks like a can of worms. Mel says, if paper is described as 60 pound, that means that one ream of that paper is 60 pounds.
I find that hard to believe. Well, how big's a ream?
A ream's 500 sheets.
Mm.
But I buy 500 sheets, but that's copier paper. It's lighter.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have bought 110 pound cardstock before, but I didn't buy it as a ream. I bought it in probably 25 sheets or something like that. I don't know with it. Oh, Fighting Thought says, ask Alexa.
She won't know.
She won't know. Watch. Alexa, how many... No, I don't even know how to word the question.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Yeah, neither do I. How do Alexa, how do you calculate the weight of paper? That probably won't do it.
This might answer your question. Mass, also called weight, is equal to force divided by acceleration and density times volume.
Right. Bonnie says weight for 500 sheets of paper is 20 pounds. Alexa, how much does 500 sheets of copy paper weigh?
Here's something I found on reference.com. Approximately 6 sheets of 20-pound paper weigh 1 ounce together.
Huh?
So some weight is, basis weight is weight of a 500 sheet ream of uncut paper.
Okay. So that's what Mel was saying.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah. So 110 pound cardstock, if you were to buy it in a ream of 500 sheets, would weigh 110 pounds. You know, that sounds like a really stupid way to tell you how the quality of your paper. I don't know. Whatever, it gives me a headache. Yeah, it's on the package. I know. Well, anyways, let's get away from our calipers and our... Oh, you hit you on the head. Hey, let's measure the thickness of your nose. Let's see. Walter's nose is...
Just squished it.
17.7 millimeters. Whoa, what a honker on there.
Mm.
Let's measure... No, let's not. Hi, Virginia. So it says, Mel says, it depends on paper. There are many types of paper. Yeah, I'm confused. And Bonnie says, I have 8.5 by 11 inches and it says it weighs 20 pounds. Okay. All right, whatever. Yeah, okay. It's heavy. Let's put it that way. Doesn't feel like it, Bonnie says, though. Yeah. So, back to... Who was it that asked? Chris, was it you, or who asked about the Cricut Joy? Because I did want to talk a little bit about that today. Oh yeah, it was Chris. Okay. I saw the premiere of it from the official Cricut site. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, first of all, does everybody understand what a Cricut is? A Cricut is an electronic die cutting machine. They've been around for quite a few years now. I have the latest model, well, it was the latest model until the Joy came out, which is the Maker. I had the Air 2, or just the Explorer Air. I guess it's the Explorer Air. I still have it. And I started out with a micro one. They don't make the micro one anymore. But essentially what a Cricut does is it'll cut out your dies and things like that. And Maker will also cut fabric if you're doing applique. Personally, I don't use it for that because... I don't do a lot of applique, and second of all, I find it's not that trustworthy. Your shapes have to be pretty basic. It really doesn't do well on really intricate cuts, even though it's got a rotary blade in it. Or maybe it's me using it wrong, I don't know. But in the time it takes to set it up to do that, I could cut it out in other ways faster. So, the Joy is a tiny little thing. Oh, it's cute. It's about this big, this tall. And it's essentially will cut vinyl, all the stuff that a regular Cricut cuts, except that you don't have the width. You can get the length though. But here's where the thing gets a little screwy. They want $179.99 American for the Cricut Joy when it gets onto the market. You run it from, it's all Bluetooth, so you run it from your iPhone or your iPad, and if your computer has Bluetooth on it, you can do it from that. So I'm talking about Design Space, which is the software you use to create whatever you're going to create. Okay, fine, I don't have any problem with any of that. Makes it extremely portable. And that's the one thing about it that I think is really good. If you go to a lot of scrapbooking crops or things like that, that would be really cool. Because it probably, I think it only weighs about 4 or 5 pounds or something like that. And you can pack it in your supply bag and away you go. So that would be okay. However, you're limited by how wide your cuts can be. Although if you're doing scrapbooking, that's probably enough. Now they're trying to tote that it doesn't need a mat, a cutting mat. Well, it does. What they mean is if you go, they've geared this towards people who are into vinyl, and I don't get the vinyl thing. I mean, sure, vinyl's nice, but Cricut seems to have the exclusive, rights, or not rights, but, they seem to exclusively talk about cutting vinyl. How many bloody inspirational signs does one need to stick on their wall or in a frame? It seems to me that this cutting vinyl, yes, you can get iron-on, you can get vinyl iron-on for shirts and things like that. Well, okay, if you're into t-shirts, I suppose that's kind of cool. I'm not, but, whatever. But anyways, back to, they call it smart materials or something. You can buy a roll of their vinyl. It's about this wide, but it's a 20-foot section. It's continuous. It has been put onto a substrate that mimics a cutting mat. And so basically you don't need a cutting mat. It's already built into this. And if you were to make really long banners or something, this would be great. Except that it doesn't cut a banner 20 feet long. It has to be a continuous cut. It does it in 4 repeated patterns, apparently. So I'm not sure how that works. Now, they showed people printing out like happy birthday on it. Well, that's not a repeated pattern. So maybe you can do individual letters with no problem. But it's very confusing as to what they mean by this continuous pattern. I suppose if you're going to do a border, say you want, I don't know why, it would be tacky as hell, I think, but you want a vinyl border around your ceiling area, like behind me up here in this idea. I suppose that might be a good thing there for a room. Maybe you're decorating a kid's room or a nursery or something like that. The other thing they didn't show on the official Cricut site was how it's powered. They made you believe that this had its own power source. You didn't have to plug it in. So in other words, I was thinking it either takes batteries or it's rechargeable. No, it has a power brick, that you have to plug it in. But in all of their little video that they were showing it, you never once saw the power cord. You never saw anybody plug it in. You didn't even see the cord running out of it. So that's a little bit of a mystery. Until you go in and you read the specs, then you find out you have to plug it in. Well, again, is that a big problem? Not really, except if you're taking it off to a crop, you'd want to make sure that you're near an outlet somewhere or have a very long extension cord, which, when I used to go to crops, I did take a long extension cord because I used to take my computer. Those were in the days when I was into digital scrapbooking. So, yeah, that would work okay with that. The other thing is all of the tools for the regular Cricuts are not interchangeable with this. So you've got to start back at square one. You can't even use the same knife in it. You have to buy one that's specially for the Joy. So, and the pens too. There's special pens for the Joy. You can't use the regular Cricut pens that you would use in your regular machine. So here you go. You're paying $179.99 for this, plus tax, plus shipping, if you bought it directly from Cricut, or if you bought it from Amazon or something like that.
US dollars.
Yeah, US dollars. So for us in Canada, it's about a $250 ticket item. And then you have to buy all this other stuff as well on top of it. Now, if you did not have a cricket, and if you were not really, if all you wanted to do was cut rolls of vinyl, I'd say probably it might be suitable for you. But otherwise, I'm not going to invest in one. I don't need it. I've got 2 crickets now, and yes, they're not as portable as the Joy, but yeah, I can't see it. For me, it wouldn't be of any value. So let's see.
Yeah, actually, $179 would be $237 Canadian.
Yeah. Plus, if you buy it directly from Cricket, you probably have to pay shipping.
And in Australian dollars, it would be 266 Australian dollars.
Oh, geez, even more. So, let's see what people say. Yeah, Chris says, yeah, it looks adorable and so portable. Yes, and guess what? Guess who their market is? Well, okay, most crafting market tends to be more female than male. But that's what they're dealing with. They're going for the cute element. And it is. It is cute. But you have to get over the cuteness factor and decide for yourself whether or not you'd really use it, a lot to get your money's worth out of it. If they priced it at $99.99 or $69 or $79.99, I would say, it might be worth investing in it. But not at $179.99 US. I don't think. Anyways, unless you don't have any kind of die cutting machine or something like that, and you're not sure you want to drop $400 on a Cricut Maker, then maybe this is a good entry point into the world of Cricut. I don't know. You see, my very first Cricut was a micro. They called it a micro. It wasn't as small as the Joy, but it was about half the size of the regular size machines. And it was a pretty good little machine. But that was my entry level machine, and that's why I went to the bigger full size ones, because I actually was using that quite a bit, and I liked it, so it got me in there. Hi, Carol. Yes, Kathy, it has to be plugged in. I have cut balsa wood and etched glass with my Janome Artistic Edge. I find the software really hard to use, though I would love something easier to use. And the Artistic Edge is pretty expensive too, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And do they still make it?
I don't know.
You don't hear much about it.
I haven't seen one at Shirley. She had one. Originally.
She had one. I don't know.
I think she has it anymore.
And knowing Shirley, it's something like with a computer. She probably never figured out how to use it. There are so many words and quotes framed for your home. Hobby Lobby's full of them. One day they'll all end up in Goodwill. Yeah, exactly. Bonnie says they got you coming and going. Sells more expensive than embroidery by machine. Yeah. I hate those live, love, laugh, etc. quotes that are framed. I always call them born, suffer, die quotes. Yeah, that's a good one, Mel. I hate that when people post those on Facebook all the time, Just bugger off, I'd like to, I said to Walter, mug rugs seem to be something that people with their embroidery machines make all the time. These stupid mug rugs. And just regular sewing too. How many mug rugs does one need? So I was thinking, actually, I should maybe make up a couple of mug rugs for us when we go to the sewing retreat in the next few weeks, and put on it F off. Just in protest to all the have a nice day, you are wonderful, you're awesome. That kind of stuff makes me sick. Virginia says, I agree. Good starter model. Making labels and quotes would be a good way to get into Cricut. Yeah. I will only be interested if it can be totally portable and self-charges. Yeah, even at the price of $179.99 US, if it was self-charge, if you could charge it, or it took batteries, I would consider it more seriously, because then it's portable. Do I need another thing that I plug into an outlet? You ought to see my craft room. I have the world's largest octopuses. Everything runs out of power boards and surge protectors. Why, is your machine not working again?
I heard it stop.
Well, maybe it's finished. So, it's... What this says to me is that the market, and I've said this before, the scrapbooking and crafting markets are really getting desperate for looking for new things to put out there. I think the market is saturated. There's nothing new under the sun. It's just variations on a theme. And I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to run out and buy one. I don't think. Of course, never say never. You never know. I just can't think of any use for it right now, given that I already have Cricut machines. And Bonnie says scrapbooking's not her thing. Yeah, so, really. Oh, yeah, they tout this as being able to use it in various rooms of your house. They showed using it in the kitchen to label your jars. Well, why? Really, if you've got a little label maker, or most people have a label maker, it does the same thing. I don't know. Mel says, over here it feels even more stupid. Why people need to have those quotes on their wall in English? Our language is Finnish. Maybe it feels better to have everything in their homes in English. Hey, maybe...
Well, they could put it in Finnish.
Yeah. Well, they could. Yeah.
I don't know if they have...
Bai says, who will want to see this in the future? My life story is not that interesting. Yeah, well, you're talking about scrapbooking. I was big into scrapbooking back at the turn of the century. And I have all kinds of albums that I have albums about the cat, when we had a cat. I've got our trips. I've got special events and family. I've got one that's biographical or autobiographical. I have all these scrapbooks. You know how many times I pull them off the shelf and look at them? Never. Never. Even our wedding album is done as a scrapbook. Do you ever look at that? No, we don't. But I had a lot of fun doing them, but I'm not into that anymore. I even went to Project Life, and it was kind of cool for a while, but I'm over that. What are you laughing at?
Nothing, I'm just playing around and letting you yap away.
What are you playing around with?
Nothing, my seat.
Oh, all eyes are on Walter as he pushes in his stool. Right. That is what I mean. Who would really want to see it if you aren't interested? Yeah, true. You remember it's those old days back when people used to take slides and, you'd pull out the slide projector and the slides people were for dinner, and then you made them pay for it by having to sit there and watch your home movies or your home slides of things, bore you to death. And I did that with the scrapbooks. People would come over, and I'd just walk into the room with a big armload of these scrapbooks, and there they are. And you want to know something? What's ironic about that is, when somebody did that to me, another scrapbooker in their house, I didn't want to look at the damn things. These people mean nothing to me. What do I care? No. So, yeah. Although I'll tell you one thing. Okay, this is kind of bizarre. When I used to go to crops and things, and I liked them, they were fun, there was this one woman that used to go on a regular basis. Her hobby, she was a naturist or whatever you want to call it. She liked to go out in the woods and take pictures, but she had a specialization. She would take pictures of animal droppings. Technical term, scat. Just seemed like the same old shit to me, but it's scat. And she would scrapbook pictures of poop. Think about it. Would you like to see my scrapbooks? My pictures are kind of shitty. I mean,
well,
really?
I'm almost as bad as that guy I used to work with. They used to go to travel all over the world, and he would go to all the cemeteries and look up famous dead people.
Well, they were famous, now they're dead. Well, that sounds like sometimes poop is more interesting than people. So Bonnie says, yeah, maybe, but I mean, I don't really need to look at. I was tempted once to take a bunch of pictures as a joke of the kitty litter, the used kitty litter, and put them in an album and go, oh, I've got a new hobby here. Would you like to see my cat poop pictures? This is shitty kitty.
Well, I guess whatever the person's into.
Oh, yeah, into scat. Yeah, okay, whatever. Well, to each his own, I guess. Certainly would be unusual. Like, okay, you come over and look at their scrapbook pictures, figuring you're going to see something about someone's wedding.
Maybe it's just as bad as all those pictures your dad used to take of.
Oh, my father was a power line contractor. He had his own little business. They put up hydro poles, stuff like that. He had a 35 millimeter camera. Every job site he was working on, he would take literally hundreds of pictures of poles and lines and transformers and insulators and all the stuff that's related to all that. And
Here in Canada, a lot of the lines are buried underground in a subdivision, and there's these big green boxes on at the end of people's lawns, every so many feet, and they're just a big square metal green box. That's all they are. And he would have hundreds of photos of these green boxes, and they all look the same.
yeah, well, he was taking those pictures after he got out of the business and went back to work for the Public Utilities Commission, as he was in charge of the summer students. And the summer students' jobs were to go to each of these metal boxes that Walter's talking about and making sure there was, like, some people would plant flowers and shrubs around them, and you can't do that, because if they have to get into them to fix something, those are obstructions and that kind of thing. And then, of course, some people would put graffiti on it. So the job of these kids, summer students, was to clean up the area around these boxes, repaint them if there was graffiti on them, that kind of thing. And my father took pictures of all of these, and he would have them produced as slides, slides in a projector. And there we'd sit. We'd all been over my parents for dinner. There'd be people there, and then we'd hear him disappear or see him disappear, and we knew, oh God, he's gone down to his office. He's digging out the slide projector and the slides. Quick, run now. Go home. Don't stay. Too late. My father's got them out. And the ironic thing was, he would intersperse them with pictures he had taken of us doing things, as a family or whatever. And those pictures always came out rotten. But every one of his work pictures were absolutely wonderful in color, in lighting, and everything. So where did those all go when my father passed away and my mother moved out of the house? My sister got them all. I think they're now landfill, because she said to me once about a couple of years ago, she says, I have all these slides. Do you want them? And I said, hell no. What am I going to do with them? And I said, well, just put them in the garbage. And so there were hundreds of them. I mean, my father liked them, but he's not around to see them. My mother certainly didn't care about them. None of the rest of us did.
Your poor mother having a look at those pictures.
Oh, yeah. That was probably one of the reasons my mother drank a lot. But, well, it was something to do. But anyways, yep. It was... Okay, it was a thing, too, back in the 80s to take 70s and the 80s to do slides. We had slides. We still have slides.
Yeah, we still have slides, yeah.
I think we have a couple of slide projectors still, don't we?
Yeah, we do. I don't know if they still work.
But... I mean, oh my God. Talk about primitive. Actually, I think our very first trips were all on slides. So, yeah. Send them to Hydro 1.
Some of them to pictures. But...
Yeah. Bonnie says send them to Hydro 1. They wouldn't want them either, I can tell you. I don't know. But anyways, so...
I think a lot of people did it because it was actually cheaper than printing pictures. The slide.
Yeah, I think it was. But, they were a pain in the butt to try to organize. We even had a slide sorter, like a glass, not glass up, a box, a light box that you put them on. It was a pain. So, yeah, Bonnie says we have them too. Slides, guess we are the same decade. Yep, it was all the thing at one point in time to have slides. Because you got that big picture, on the screen. How times have changed, eh? Out of all of that. Okay, so, anybody do anything exciting for Valentine's Day, bah humbug? Yes, my father took slides too, thousands. He would take 20 of the same thing with different settings to see what were best. Yeah. Yep, and Dana says the same in her life. Yeah, I guess we all are about that same era, most of us, and that was the thing in that day and age. Bonnie says, the money we wasted. I would be a millionaire if we hadn't been into trends. Yeah, true.
Well, I think that would be true about just about anything. We all spend money on things that we use for a while and then we throw out again.
Yeah, like looking at all the craft stuff I've got. And he says, we have boxes of my father-in-law's slides. They might be interesting because he traveled. Yeah, that's true. Well, my parents' best friends, they took slides as well. And... the hobby for the gentleman in that family was photography, and he had a lot of really elaborate equipment and he was no amateur when it came to taking photographs and stuff like that. But you'd go over to their place and they get out the slides too, and really, YouTube is so much more interesting, I think, these days.
Biting sauces.
Chris says hubby took me out to dinner for the first time ever for Valentine's Day. He's never taken you out for dinner for Valentine's Day?
Actually, we kind of avoid going at Valentine's Day because it's too busy everywhere.
Well, it's too busy.
And
A lot of places have a fixed menu at a double the price that they usually charge for the same items from their menu. And for what? I don't know. Maybe for the young guys, it's, they can get into her pants if they buy them a nice dinner and get them liquored up. I'm not sure how that works. Hey, if you bought me a nice dinner and got me liquored up, yeah, that wouldn't work.
Cheryl says they went to see a tribute singer.
That's Anita.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, we went to see a tribute singer, Belinda David, who did Whitney Houston. She's on YouTube, I found out this morning, and she's fantastic. Oh, I might look that up. Although Whitney Houston, she was okay, but I never got, gaga over her. But, nope, we do not normally do anything. We had a voucher. No. Best way to go, the voucher. What did we do? Nothing.
Actually, here, if you have a voucher, unless it's a gift card, a lot of places won't accept a voucher on that. On
That's
special
true.
day.
That's true. Yeah. They say no coupons or no whatever something.
No coupons on special days.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
And the restaurants here get really, really busy.
Oh yeah.
And it'll be busy till next week
Yeah.
because people say, "Well, I'm not going to Valentine's Day. I'll take you out next week."
Well, you can bet tonight it will be busy.
Yeah.
Even though it's Sunday and it's 2 days after the fact, because people think, oh yeah, well, people have already gone out and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, chocolate and flowers doesn't do it anymore. They said on the news. That's
Or then there was, remember the lady we used to know that worked in the florist shop, and she said that she used to get ticked off because one guy would phone and send flowers to his wife and then his two girlfriends or something.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the price of roses is all jacked up. I don't know what the big thrill is about roses anyways, because they hardly ever last either. Now, I did see that they colorize roses. They inject them with dye, and they
Bonnie says money grab.
Yeah, of course it's money grab. And they make a lot of really cool things. And, oh no, you bought me a box of Russell Stover's chocolates from the dollar store in a heart-shaped box. And we immediately inhaled them. There was a whole, how many in it?
I don't know. Couldn't have been that many in there.
I think it was
Probably about
8.
6 or something.
6 of them, yeah. But speaking of chocolates, so my sister decides this week for Valentine's Day, she got my mother a little box of chocolates, heart-shaped box. They were Lindor chocolates, and those ones are very soft. They're supposedly Swiss chocolate or something like that. It had 8 chocolates in the box, but each one was individually wrapped, and they were a fair size. They were heart-shaped, and they were big. Okay, here's the problem. So my sister gives this to my mother, but she never opened the box. My sister left. She was leaving as we got there this week to see my mother. And I said to Mom, well, do you want me to open these for you? Because I knew my mother can't do anything with her hands anymore, just because she basically doesn't want to. And she'll, okay, that would be nice. So I'm trying to get into them myself. Well, yeah, they had them taped down well. So we get the tape off the box, open it up, and there's these 8 little chocolates individually wrapped. And I'm thinking, oh my God, a disaster going to happen here. I said to my mother, now don't eat them all in one sitting. She just giggles, because she will.
And not only that, she'll be just covered in
it'll look like she shit herself upside down. I mean, they'll be all over her face, all over her hands, and she'll be sitting there going, sticky. Oh God, that's when I'm so glad I'm not a personal care worker.
It's, Anita said she always got dead flowers.
Oh, dead flowers?
Yeah. She said they would be freezer burnt and then die the next day. Probably because they bought them and it was cold outside. And
Oh, maybe. Or that could have been just at the florist too. Who knows?
Oh,
Because they
okay.
put them in a fridge. A lot of them.
Yeah.
So backing up here. Oh, so somebody by the name of Cat Who Found a Phone. Hello, lads. Okay, don't take this wrong, Cat Who Found a Phone. But do you have a real name, or are you a troll? We had a little
I
problem with
didn't see
trolls
that.
last week. So just asking. I mean, you're more than welcome to be here as long as you're not a troll. You know, nice if you're here for this first time. Um, so Dana says years ago I saw a sign attached to a Photoshop. Someday my prince will come. uh, let's see. Money grab. Hello, it's tough time trying to eat due to recent dental surgery. Oh, got a 2-for-1 deal there as well, but we had a good night. Oh, okay. So does that mean you have 2 teeth now? Um, oh, Bonnie says she made her hubby a mug rug. Okay, well, I've made them. I didn't use them. I mean, I don't know. To me, they're a great little thing to work on when you're trying to learn your embroidery machine for the first time, if you do them in the hoop kind of a deal. But I don't know, whatever grabs you, I guess. They might be good for little gifts for people. Hostess gifts, they keep saying. Hostess goes, oh, isn't this lovely? Throws it in a drawer, never sees it again. That kind of gift. Um, Bonnie won a bag of goodies from the local pharmacy. Oh, really? And it had a heart-shaped box of chocolate in it. Oh, what other things were in that? Spanish fly, little marijuana, some,
Condoms.
condoms, codeine, roofies, Special K. I don't mean the cereal people. Ecstasy. Um, Anita finally said, stop with the dead flowers. Okay, this is completely off topic, but this reminds me of a person I went to teachers college with, and she was actually a very intelligent person, but she could come off being a bit of a ditz at times. And we were all over at her apartment one time for dinner, and it was when I was in teachers college, before I knew Walter. And we were just about to go off on Christmas holidays kind of a thing. And she came from Ottawa, and we were in Kingston for teachers college. And so she, out of the blue, we weren't talking about plants or anything. She finally said, do you think my flowers will die in 2 weeks? Do you think my plants will die in 2 weeks? We looked at her. We're trying to figure out what she was going about. What she meant was she was going to be away for 2 weeks from the apartment she had in Kingston because she was going back home to Ottawa, and would they last? But it was the way it came out, so we ended up calling her Dead Plants for years, to the point where I forgot what her first name was. Ruth.
Ruth. Yeah.
Ruth. But haven't seen her since then either, but pretty much. But just as an aside, whatever. I don't know why it made me think of that. Looks like she murdered a chocolate bar. Oh, yeah. It's disgusting. And
It's like if
she'll
she
inhale
eats
them.
cheesies or whatever.
Oh,
Her
yeah.
hands are all orange.
Oh, she loved cheesies. Well, she still does. She always loved cheesies, even way back in the days when she was sane. And, or something like that. And so I bought her some cheesies a couple of times. Well, she was covered in orange crap. You have to remember, people, my mother is not 99 years old. She's really not decrepit. She makes herself decrepit. So there she is, like a 5-year-old. Orange stuff all over her face, her mouth, in her lap, on her chest, and her fingers. Standing going like this. And it's disgusting because her fingers were wet. And so it's, I'm making myself sick thinking about it. Ugh. Gross. Chris says, I went to dentist money to have a tooth pulled, and oops, 2 came out. Oh, looks like the roots of my wisdom tooth were wrapped around the tooth being removed. Oh, and it also broke off a piece of my jaw. Whoa. Oh, how much pain are you in? Yuck. Well, thanks for telling me this now. I go to the dentist for a cleaning and a checkup on Tuesday morning. had stitches, but on Thursday, day before Valentine's Day, but we had a voucher. Here is me trying to eat, and he is going, this is so good, yum. Now, okay, just to stir the pot a little bit, Chris, you don't think maybe he planned it that way so you'll never ever want him to take you out on Valentine's Day again? Just saying.
She says she's surprisingly not in much pain.
Oh, well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Did he give you painkillers? Maybe it's those. Share. Oh, do share. I had a painkiller once years ago. I had shaken my head in the shower to get the water out of my hair. My hair was a little
Are you
longer.
a dog or what?
No, my hair was a little longer than it. It was a flock of seagulls.
Yeah.
Look, that was back in the 80s. And I wrenched my neck. And I was in a lot of pain. And so I'm at school. And one of the teachers there says, here, she had a lot of problems with her knees. And she had this painkiller. And she says, here, try this. What she meant was when you get home from school, try this. She didn't tell me how strong they were. They were something like, at that time, like Tylenol 3s or something. And I never ever take much more than an aspirin, if even that. And so I was in pain, so I had to get through the day. So I just popped this pill. It was a big blue one. I called it the Big Blue Meanie. I really don't know what happened the rest of the afternoon, but all I know is from what the kids said, oh, sir, you were really funny the other day. You were sitting on your desk and you say, let's just rap. It was my drama class. And they said, you were so loose. And so we'd never seen you like that. And I went, it's because I was on drugs for it. But yeah, that was my only time I've ever really had a major painkiller with it.
Is it a voucher or a coupon?
Yeah, I would think it's a coupon. Isn't that's what you mean, right, Chris? A voucher's a coupon, right? Oh, Bonnie's asking.
Yeah.
Chris says they won't give you extra painkiller here, just paracetamol or ibuprofen.
Yeah, here they'll give you Tylenol usually. Or ibuprofen.
Ooh, and he says when the tooth broke loose, the dentist pliers came back and knocked out an upper front tooth.
Oh.
Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, because it goes back here. Anita says, I can relate that I once had a tooth on the bottom pulled. The oral surgeon had a hard time getting the tooth out. And then Bonnie says, think about what she did for you. Wash most of your body parts and then your face. Just saying, maybe you could offer to wash your face for her. Only if I can hold her head under the tap for about 5 minutes. No. That's why she's in a nursing home. There's people there who do this. It's part of their job. I don't go near it. No. No. Sorry if that makes me sound like a cruel person, but so be it. I have my limits. Hubby received a voucher for a restaurant called Hog's Breath. Well, isn't that an appetizing sort of sound for a restaurant or name for a restaurant? As a Christmas gift from our daughter. Okay, we're going to the Hog's Breath. Smells like pig to me. That's the one thing I have to say about Australia. You do have really interesting names for some things and expressions too. So, they do a great steak. And yet, do they serve hog? I've had wild boar before. I wasn't impressed. Tasted real piggy with that. Yeah, well, so no, we stayed at home. We had, what did we have for dinner on?
I had the pasta, the shrimp pasta.
Oh, yeah, Walter made a curried shrimp Thai, like whatever pasta on. But we don't celebrate Valentine's Day. It's just bah humbug. It's just a gimmick. It's where card companies, I don't know if card companies much anymore because most of them are going out of business, make money. And restaurants. And flowers. And chocolate. I don't mind the chocolate.
Voucher was a gift certificate.
We call it gift certificates here. Voucher to me means government freebies. I kind of use the terms interchangeably.
See, the voucher to me seemed like coupon.
Yeah. See,
you get 20% off if you, or like you go in and buy one meal and get 50% off your second meal type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of thing. Well, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. But I see what you're saying, Bonnie, about the, voucher government kind of thing. Yeah. Anyway, so I guess that's all everybody did on Valentine's Day. Well, that was exciting. So now we have Easter to look forward to at some point in time. Yay. Wow. Kill the bunny. So, newsworthy. So they renamed the coronavirus. Now it's what? COVID-19. And things aren't looking any better with that. Um,
Yeah, vouchers same as a gift certificate.
yeah, okay. Yeah, oh yeah, tomorrow's a holiday here in Canada for us. It's called Family Day. One of the governments put that in place back, I don't know, 15 years ago or something. I don't know how long ago we got
That was
that.
a little while ago.
So every day's a holiday for us, so we may no, never mind about that, as they say. Yeah, so the coronavirus has been renamed, and we've been following different YouTube channels that talk about cruising, and the popular topic has been, those two cruise ships out there. I think we talked about this last week or whatever. The Diamond Princess that's been, anchored off of Japan with everybody, quarantine kind of a thing on the ship, and they kept every day they seem to be getting more cases of it. And then the Holland American ship was basically a cruise to nowhere because no one was letting it dock, even though they claimed they didn't have anybody with the coronavirus and stuff like that until today or yesterday. I just saw a report that apparently they were letting them off and letting them fly home from the Holland American, and one person now has been come down with the coronavirus. It was on a plane with 140 other people or something flying back to wherever, and so that's not good. That's not good at all.
Yeah, I can't imagine sitting in a cruise room for 2 weeks. I can't imagine being in an inside cabin.
Oh
for
God,
2
no!
weeks.
I would be clawing my way out of the side of the boat. China lied, so figures are catching up now that WHO have reps there, World Health. Yeah, I don't doubt that at all. Chris says, I love cruising, but will not be cruising for ages now. No, I think this is really going to damage the cruise industry.
Especially the larger ships, because the larger ships that hold like thousands of people, all you have to have is one that gets sick with this thing on it, and you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, but even flying, I mean, you're in recycled air, and they're saying that they think this is sort of airborne or whatever. So it's bad enough. You hear them, what do they call it? Cruise cough. When you're on a cruise and you've been on it for a little bit of time, by the end of the cruise, you hear everybody like hacking up a lung all the time. Call that cruise cough, kennel cough. Because even though you have fresh air out on the decks and things, the inside air is probably the same thing being recirculated and whatever around too. So, and so having said that, yes, we just paid our money for our river cruise in May. And we're sitting around hemming and hawing about that because we've already put down.
Mind you, that's a river boat, so there's only about 260 people.
Well, it only takes one.
Yeah, I know.
That's the only thing. And
The cruise company did say that they're not allowing anybody that's been to China in the last 14 days.
Yeah, but will they be doing that in May?
Yeah, they say that.
Yeah, we'll see. Who knows? I don't know. But anyways, so we had the dilemma. We've already paid $3,000 down, non-refundable deposit, and the rest of our money was due this weekend, which was basically another $18,000
No, 15,000.
or 15,600.
Plus I got travel.
Oh yeah, well, that's why my share was 8,000 something. Okay, well anyways, big chunk of change, right? With that, but if we canceled, we would lose our 3,000. So we have travel insurance, but that doesn't necessarily.
That won't cover coronavirus.
No.
It won't cover. What do you call it? It only covers if we get sick.
Yeah. So just going to hope for the best, Also, again, do we really know how bad this is? Because, like I said last week, the media.
We're flying to Amsterdam, and then going from Amsterdam to Budapest.
Yeah. What river are we going down, or rivers?
The Rhine,
Rhine?
the Main, and the Danube.
Oh, okay. So
they're all sort of the same.
And
was Mel asked what we were drinking on the way back. We
Oh.
were drinking sort of a strawberry daiquiri.
yeah, one of Walter's famous
It has a pound of
concoctions.
strawberries in it.
A pound of strawberries. Okay. Mel says here in Lapland, most tourists in winter come from China, and this year it has been very difficult for business owners. No tourists because of Corona. Apparently, it's highly infectious, and if you can be asymptomatic for weeks before you get sick.
I
Yeah.
also read that when you get it, the symptoms can be extremely mild, so like almost as if you're not sick at all. So a lot of people don't really think that that's what it is, what they have, so they'll sort of just ignore it, and it can and then by the third week it either gets a lot better or it goes really bad and really south, and you'll end up with pneumonia. And they're not advertising this, but something like 20 to 25% of the cases come down with the pneumonia.
Oh, that's wonderful. Just cheery. It's not. This is a new decade, and already we've got disaster happening in it. Not nice. We've been getting a lot of flack from the International Students Union for detaining and deporting Chinese students as they have been trying to return to study. Well, I'm sorry, but really,
Chris, I thought Chinese tourism was all year, and
yeah. Anytime we've been to Australia,
anytime we've been to Australia, it's been more Chinese than we've ever seen.
well, that's not really true.
What?
Right here in our own, Toronto has a huge Asian
Canada
population,
has a large Asian
and
population.
Vancouver, you can't swing a chopstick without hitting an Asian. So is that racist to say that? I don't care. And he says, yes, the clinical articles I've been reading, it is pneumonia that causes the deaths.
Yeah.
So if it's pneumonia that causes the deaths, there is a shot for pneumonia.
Yeah, it's not effective with that.
Oh, well.
It's a different kind of pneumonia than.
Oh, great. Well, I guess you could spend your whole life wrapped up in saran wrap and not go anywhere. So we'll just have to take it as it comes. And hopefully it'll all work out for the better. We'll see. But anyways, I'm not looking forward to going on a trip that I end up having to cancel or getting sick on it or something like that. But we traveled when there was SARS, so I don't know. It just...
Well, we traveled when there was Zika virus, and it still exists.
It's really hard not to look at an Asian person and feel a little tiny touch of contempt for them, even though your logical mind says it's not really their fault. It's unfortunate this broke out there. These people you see in our own country are not from there or living there. They're Canadian and the whole bit. But there's a little piece of me. Just every time I pass somebody that has an Asian look, the thought goes through my head, which is completely irrational, but it's like, are you disease carrying? I know it's not the nice thing, but I have to be honest with my thoughts. That's what happens. I'm not acting on them, but, as if I could do anything. Again, he says maybe by then it will slow down. Hopefully. We rescued Australian citizens from China and placed them in a vacant detention center, waiting for them to wait out if they have it or not. Maybe Corona is nature's way to fight against overpopulation. Just a thought. Yeah, that thought went through my head too. Like it happens in the animal kingdom. Kind of things like that. And we are overpopulated on this planet. Who knows? I don't know. But he says, sorry you feel that way. My son-in-law is Asian. He's never been to China. He is from Mauritius? Mauritius?
Who's
Whatever.
Meritus?
No, I don't feel that way, Bonnie. I'm just being very honest about a very
Well, I have to
animal gut reaction. I'm not acting on it, and I know it's irrational, and I know all the things that are associated with racism and the things that go with that. But I'm human too, and I am going to react. I don't react openly out to them, and I'm try not to even go that route in my own mind either. But like I said, it's an irrational thought. You know, you got to control the irrational thoughts. They have been placed on a further hold now as one of the guards have been diagnosed with it, and none of the detainees have been diagnosed. So it seems. You know, I have a feeling we're fighting a losing battle.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is also the possibility, who knows, that after the worst of this is over, something like that, maybe it will die out, or maybe we will develop within ourselves some sort of natural antibody or resistance to it. I don't know. Maybe that's just hopeful thinking. Irrational again. I mean, it's not the first time we've had disease rampant. You know, like the one thing you don't hear a lot about, but it happens all the time, is what's that virus that goes on cruise ships? The
norovirus.
The norovirus. Mind you, it's not as deadly.
Lethal. Yeah.
And also, what I'd like to know is the number of people that have actually died from this. I would like to know how many of them have been people that are the elderly and people with compromised immune systems already.
Yeah, they don't seem to.
They don't say that.
They say that a lot of them are old, over 60, elderly.
Yeah, well,
over 60, and but then there's a lot of reports of people that have been younger that have passed away from it too.
See, you don't. But just in what you just said now, there's been a lot of reports. There's been a lot of reports. Who is doing the reporting? How reliable is this reporting?
No, you're right.
Where are we getting the information from? We're getting it from the media, because the World Health Organization is saying, if you've noticed, very little. They're giving us only little tidbits. And the governments in our own countries are saying not much about it. So we're depending upon the majority of our information coming from the media. And we all know if it doesn't bleed, it doesn't lead when it comes to the media. And the media likes to take everything and blow it out of proportion because it sells, the news sells advertising. So I don't know. Who do we believe? I don't know. There has been talk that 80% of the world will get it. It does have a lower death rate than other viruses, under 2%. SARS had over 8%.
Actually, that hasn't been verified yet, what the death rate is.
No.
Apparently, 20 to 25% of the people become critical with that. And of that critical, there's supposed to be another like 25% or some that die. And the ones that actually go critical, they say their lives will be altered for the rest of their life because their lungs are so badly damaged after they recover.
Oh, well, all of that's cheery information. Thank you for that. Anita says, I think the big problem would be that our healthcare systems could not sustain hundreds of thousands at one time. That's true. Mm-hmm. Especially in the States. Because in the States, healthcare costs money. So guess who is going to get the treatment first and who's not going to get the treatment? The rich are going to get the treatment. The poor are going to get nothing out of that. And that's times like that when I'm glad, though, although our healthcare system has its flaws, it's still better. Most people dying are old, young, and compromised immune systems, according to the World Health Organization. Yeah. The flu here in Canada kills many people every year, but we don't hear the death rate every year. It's not newsworthy. Exactly. Again, I go back to what I said about the media. The WHO and media here in the U.S. are on this downplaying. The WHO last week said we have a window of opportunity to prepare. But what does that mean? A window of opportunity to prepare. That says nothing. How big is that window? What are they doing about that? Who's working on this? Are they sharing resources to find this? I mean, at one point, and heard nothing more about it, that the Australians were able to replicate the virus, which in my mind means that if you can replicate it already in a laboratory, then you can probably reverse engineer it to create a vaccine. I mean, I don't know how immunology really works when it comes to the research and finding vaccines and things like that, but it would seem to me if you can replicate it, you can also work backwards from that then.
Well, look at HIV. There's still no vaccine for it.
But why? Why is there no vaccine for HIV? I will tell you why. Because until it became financially feasible for the pharmaceutical companies, they did nothing. The government did nothing because it was going to cost them money. I mean, the whole Reagan years and the whole bit, in the gay history of things, it was easier to take a disease that they didn't know much about, blame it on the gay population, and made it the gay disease. And that stigma still holds to this day. But there are successful therapy treatments for HIV. But it's taken 40 years to get to that point. And it could have been done faster, but the pharmaceutical companies didn't come on board until they saw that there might be money to be made from it. And the governments don't want to touch anything like this because it's going to cost them money. So really, yeah, I am a little bit tainted about that kind of thing. This is yesterday's update. No new countries report cases of COVID-19 in the past 24 hours. A third death of a COVID-19 patient has been reported outside of China. This individual was a tourist from China visiting France. Studies to assess the epidemiology and clinical characteristics of COVID-19 cases in different settings are therefore critical to furthering our understanding of this virus and associated disease. Yeah, of course they've got to study it to figure it out. But last I heard, they're 18 months away from a possibility of a treatment for an effective
they
treatment.
have to go through trials.
Yeah. Yeah, they do have to go through trials and things. And then they've got to get pharmaceutical companies on board with this. And the only way you get a pharmaceutical company on board is if they can make millions and millions of dollars on something like this. Because
like apparently they cut short of SARS solution when SARS sort of got wiped out. Then they didn't. The pharmaceutical companies weren't going to make any money on it.
No, that's one of the biggest problems about our healthcare system, or the drug care system, such as it is. And yeah, that's what I was saying, Chris. That she says in Australia, 2 labs have recreated the virus as well. So if they can recreate the virus, then maybe that gives them information that they can use for finding a vaccine for it. And he says, I don't think you would want to take a vaccine for this without lots of testing. Well, no, you're right. You wouldn't. But are they really working on one? That's what I don't know. Are they? We would like to think they are, but are they? It all comes down to economics. And especially when in North America, it seems like it's so far away. But it's not. Like I said, in Canada alone, we have...
nowadays the world is so small because everybody travels.
Everybody travels, flies. I mean, they've stopped commercial airlines going to China for people like you and I, but have they stopped businesses? Mm-hmm. Because there's a lot of business in China, right? For every place in the world.
I know that there's 2 flights that go from Beijing to Vancouver every day.
Yeah, so there you go. Chris says the labs believe there will be a vaccine ready for trial within 3 to 6 months. Well, that's not bad. But I don't understand how they make a vaccine. Like, I don't understand, why does it take that long to bring it to trial then? Why can they not fast stream it. Maybe not. Maybe they have to grow cultures and things, I guess. I don't know. I don't have a science background or a medical background, so I have no idea how this stuff works. I just know on Star Trek, they have a new disease from some green toed alien. They go into the replicator, say, make up. She scans the body of somebody over top of it, and they stick this thing that goes in their neck, and they're fine. So that's all I know about medicine.
Yeah, it's weird on the Diamond Princess. It seems almost like it spread through the Diamond Princess to the passengers somehow. So I wonder if that would indicate it's airborne.
But
and the other thing is, okay, what if one of the crew members gets sick? The guy that delivers the meals.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You know.
Well, I don't know, maybe I'm naive about this, but I would think that people in the medical profession and the health profession and that, the researchers and that, would definitely be looking at what the commonality is and why these people all got it. And is it going through the air system? Is it going through the water system? How is this happening? Or is it just because there was a shortage of Lysol wipes so people could wipe their doorknobs off? I don't know. But anyways, it's a real cheery thought, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I mean, Australia's burning, California was burning, Australia's now flooding. Good news and bad news there, right?
Big windstorms in Europe.
Yeah, the big windstorms in Europe. We've got global warming. We're losing our glaciers. The penguins are wearing sunglasses, getting sunburned. I don't know. And the polar bears are migrating to the south looking for warmer climes. I don't know. We really screwed up the world. You know that? Yeah, Andy says a cyclone bomb in the UK. Yeah. My daughter is an emergency room nurse, kind of scary as she is on the first line of contacts. Yeah. Shared air conditioning and air systems. That's why all bugs spread fast on cruise ships. Yeah. Yep. Those subjects are good bedtime stories for me. These subjects are good. Yeah. I don't know. Anyways. Oh, what? You got a cyclone off the coast as well, Chris says. All right. So aren't we a cheery bunch? It's all new gloom and whatnot. So what else can we talk about? Okay, some things on Netflix. Those of you who get Netflix that are worth watching. One's called The October Faction. It was in its first season. We watched it all a couple of weeks ago, actually. We finished it. It's actually quite interesting. It's a little different. Takes a little while to get into it. Then they've got one called Ragnarok, which I think takes place in Norway. And basically, it's the Norse gods, but in sort of human form. And it's kind of different as well, but I liked it. And one that's really interesting, Lock and Key. This is based on a bunch of books. But essentially, there's this house, and this family sort of move into it, inherit it. Their family name is Locke. And they find these keys. And these keys do different things. Like, if you open one door with one of these keys, it'll take you to anywhere you want to go in the world through another door. And it's kind of interesting concept. It's sort of not Harry Potterish, but fantasy, magic, stuff like that, kind of into it. And then we've been watching the latest edition of the Star Trek series, Picard. And I'm not sure yet whether I like it or not. It comes on regular TV and on some of the specialty channels like Space or something they call it here, science fiction, whatever, different names for it. It's on Crave in Canada. Crave is sort of like Netflix, but a really watered down version of it, not as good. But I've been following it. We saw an interesting movie, The Missing Link, which was okay. It was kind of fun. It won something at the Academy Awards, didn't it? Yeah. Best animation or something,
yeah.
Or that kind of thing. Oh, did you watch the Academy Awards? It's the year of boobs and nails. Everybody's got a dress that's cut way down here, and you're seeing about half a boob on each side hanging out. Trying to figure out how they keep their dresses up on those. Is it double-sided tape or what? That's got to be a pain to take off. And then they have nails this long. Like, hello, honey, you can put out an eye with one of those. Let's see. Started watching, Mel says, okay, Bonnie, see you later. Start to watch The Bonfire of Destiny, French series on Netflix. That just seems quite interesting. Is it dubbed or does it have subtitles? I don't like subtitles. I can handle if it's dubbed. Chris is watching Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Yeah.
Well, we started watching that last year, but then we sort of lost track.
Then we lost track of it for a while. Should maybe go back to it. Oh, she's on Prime. Yeah, that's right. Well, we have Prime too. So, yeah, nobody watches regular TV anymore. All the good shows are on Netflix, and they're coming out with the fourth season of Stranger Things, apparently. And actually, I didn't think the third season was that great. Was it third or the second season? The third.
Yeah,
One of them was. Third one wasn't. I didn't think it was that good, but maybe that's because you get used to it. They have to do things that are better up to it. Mel says subtitles, at least there. Okay. I have to check that one out. Bonfire of Destiny. There is another French one that's about witches or something, and it's in French. Luna, not noir, but Luna Noir, no, something like that. Watched. I only watched one episode of that. I was going to go back and watch some more of it. Mel's waiting for Outlander's newest season, but doesn't seem to be on Netflix this year. I started to watch Outlander, and then I didn't dislike it. I just kind of lost interest in it. I was kind of getting sick of the romance in it between the Outlander and the chick who comes from the future or goes in the past, whatever, that whole thing. I know it's based on a series of books. I read the first book in the series. My mother read them all at one point when she used to deign to read. Mel likes the Luna Noir, whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm. So Anita went to see Love Story on its 50th anniversary.
Oh my God. I got back at my husband for All the Dead Flowers. Love is never having to say you're sorry. Yeah. It's Luna Nura, yeah. Which I don't know. What's that mean? Moon something?
Didn't we start watching that one? Or
yeah, we did. That's the one that takes place. It looks like
Yeah.
about 1600s or something. It's
Yeah.
the witches and stuff. We watched the first, and I may have watched the second episode, but I'm not sure if I did yet. Have to go back to it. Too many things to keep that take my attention up. What else? We haven't been to a regular
Regular
movie in a
show,
run, but there's been nothing on that I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
With that. So, what else? What are we having for dinner tonight?
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, we had a big lunch, sort of. Sandwich.
No.
Fries. That. And he says, I love that movie. Oh, what? Love Story?
I can't remember much about it.
I don't remember much about it either, except it's very romantic and that, and then she dies at the end. She has cancer or something. What was her name? She was all the rage at the time that movie came out or after it. I can't think of the actress's name. Oh, Anita's having lasagna. We'll be down. And I watched Bridget Jones's Baby on Viaplay. Did we see that one?
What?
Bridget Jones' Baby. We saw Bridget Jones, Bridget Jones' Diary.
I think we saw that.
I think we saw the baby one, didn't we? Ellie McGraw, that's her name. Yeah, that's right.
And
Ellie
Ryan
McGraw.
O'Neal.
And Ryan O'Neal, yeah. Whatever happened to Ellie McGraw?
I don't know if she's still alive, I think.
Because I've never seen her in anything since then.
She's 80 years old.
Is she?
Yeah.
Holy crap. No spring chicken there. Well, hard to... Yeah, well, I guess it would be. With that. Well, I don't know. What's coming up? We got anything going on this week? have sewing classes. You're getting starting a new class,
Yeah,
aren't you?
I got a bag class.
Walter's got another bag class coming up, starts on Wednesday. And this bag is special because what? It's that one that has
Yeah, it's the fold-out
the
one.
fold out bag that you can keep things in.
Mhm.
Yeah, I get good at making that because I'd like one of those. Um, Chris says, I like Love Actually for a feel good movie. And he says, yeah, she's still alive, Ellie McGraw. Um, I run away from any movies that have love in the title because I figure they're probably a chick flick. Um, I don't know, just me with it. Yeah, for a feel good movie. Well, feel good movies aren't bad every now and then. I like movies with lots of action. I like actually science fiction type
Yeah,
things
so
to
do
a
I.
point. The kind of thing like monsters, eating. Oh, what was that movie we saw? That was a chainsaw, not chainsaw. Saw one of the
The
Saw
Saw
movies.
movies.
Oh, those are so gross.
Yeah, I don't like
They're
them.
disgusting. I don't like that kind of movie.
I like horror movies, but I don't really like gross ones.
No, I don't like ones where you get severed off heads and limbs and things like that. Well, okay, so we have nothing exciting
No,
coming up this
that's
week.
it.
In another couple of weeks, we're going off to the retreat, for sewing retreat. So we found out today we got an email stating that one of the people going to the retreat, she's deathly allergic to peanuts. She will go into, what do they call it, anaphylactic fit if there's even a peanut in the same room as herself. Okay, I know about peanut allergies and things like that, but the question comes, because you're allergic to a peanut, should that really be a major concern for everybody else that happens to be at the retreat? And the reason I say that is, yes, okay, so they told us we know, so, try very hard not to bring peanut stuff, but we have a snack table. And you're going to have to read the labels on the things before you bring them to the snack table if you're buying something. Because, there's so many things out there that say have trace amounts of peanuts in them and stuff like that. Well, unless everybody's going to be sucking on a piece of cardboard, you might not be able to escape that. And I'm sorry for this person that this is such a severe allergy, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just being cruel, but I really don't think you should be having to readjust the rest of the world because you get sick. Just saying. Maybe you should rethink going to things like a retreat then if you're that horribly allergic to something. I mean, in the school system, up to the end of grade 8, the elementary schools do not let kids bring peanut products in. But when they hit high school, they will have warnings about that, but the onus is upon the individual at that age to sort it out for themselves. Because how do you control a school of 2,000 kids? Somebody in there is going to have a peanut. Okay?
So she says she should bring her own food. Yeah, but that's not just the point. She says she is so allergic that you can't have.
She basically said this, and I quote, if there was even one peanut in the room, I will have, it will affect me, deadly for it. What do you call it? Anaphylactic? Is that the right word? I don't think I'm using that word correctly, but whatever. With it. So I mean, in my wicked imagination, I just want to walk in with a bag full with 3 peanuts in my pocket and just see what happens. No, I wouldn't do that. But I don't know if you get my point here. My daughter brought notice home from school as they got a new student in school, and all students were advised to not even have peanut butter on toast for brekkie as child's allergy was so extreme. Okay, see, this is what I'm saying. Okay, I feel for them. I'm sorry that this has happened to you and the whole bit, but why should that change every other human being on the face of the planet's life because of you? It's like sensitivity to fragrances. So many places now are fragrant free. Well, there's a whole industry out there. of perfumes and things, and you can't avoid them. You walk into a department store that has a perfume calendar and counter, and guess what? That's all you can smell there. You go on a public transportation or something like that, and there's always somebody, some man or some woman sitting there that's wearing half a bottle of cologne or perfume on their body. How can you control that? I don't know. Traces on that. Yeah, the anaphylactic. That's the word I wanted. Anaphylactic shock. So I feel for them, but come on. If I want to eat peanut butter at home, I'm going to eat peanut butter, okay? Simple as that. You take your chances. Don't kiss me. So I guess this year at the retreat, I can't ask the kitchen staff for peanut butter because all the women in this group will probably come down on me and hit me with the club.
Get some plastic peanuts. Oh my God, I'm so mean.
I actually thought we should get a Mr. Peanut costume. Walk in and go, say this woman's name. Hi! Heard you got a special thing for me. Ah! Yeah, that would be nasty, but sometimes you just want to. And the thing, too, was she sent this email to one of the people who's putting this retreat together, and she sort of forwarded it through to the rest of us. But I don't know if this woman didn't see that it had happened or not. But then she says, I had asked you to send this to everybody that's going. Like, excuse me? Get off the peanut wagon here. Like, really? Your little problem should not affect my life in a major way. Okay? I will do my best. All right? Okay? I notice there's a problem. Great. I will purposely not bring any peanuts. I'll be conscious of that fact. But too bad, so sad. You know? Get over it. Or whatever. I was a teacher coach at one point. One teacher said that she was allergic to my perfume. Would I please not wear it? I said no, but I cannot come into your room to do demo lessons. Just put a sign on your table. Stay away from me because I'm allergic to cat hair. Yeah. Yeah, really. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to this stuff. I would think, though, if it was me, I would do what I would. There might be some things I would have to forego in my life if it's that drastic. For example, if I was going to go do something, an event where I know there's going to be food and I have no control over that food or whatever that's there, I might think twice before I go. If it's that serious, I wouldn't expect the rest of the world to shape themselves around my problem. I don't know. I had to leave. I have an allergic to some things in spray cans like deodorant, etc. I have a few bad allergic reactions and asthma attacks in the office. I had to leave the room as people love to spray underarm at the desk. But here you go, Chris. You left the room. You didn't tell everybody else in the room to stop doing that, did you? I mean, I'm sorry that you had to go through that, but you didn't turn around and readjust the world so it fit your parameters. And that's what I'm saying. The owner of the shop should do the video conference for her. The video conference.
It's not a video conference. It's a retreat to.
Oh, it's a retreat to do sewing. Yeah, I'll say, yeah, this isn't really a conference. This is where people get together, and for 4 days we have machines. We pay for this, like big bucks. Actually, it's costing us almost $900 for the two of us to go for the 4 days. So it's a retreat. We're sewing. We're working on our projects and things like that. It's a lot of fun, too. But it's, it's not mandatory. You go because you want to go. And it's for fun. So, work got more annoyed with me having to leave the room. I got in trouble so much over it all. Well, I know it's kind of a hard thing to sort out, isn't it? I mean, I had kids that had severe allergies to not to peanuts, but to some other things, and and I was given a report about it, knowing the kid's going to my room. And I did everything I possibly could to protect that kid from it. But I also had some kids who said to me, "Sir, I have this reaction and that reaction to things." And I'd say to him, "Okay, what can we do about this?" And the kid would say, "Don't worry about it. I have an EpiPen in my backpack, and I know if you see me having to leave the room suddenly, it's because I'm having a reaction." It doesn't happen all that often, though. It's what the kid said. So the kid was handling it, right? But the kid just made me aware, and that's fine. I don't mind being like this lady. Good, she's made us aware of it. So everybody, I'm sure, will try to accommodate.
But then you may end up getting one person that completely forgets that she.
And some of those people don't read their emails.
Yeah.
So it's very possible someone will forget.
Somebody will bring peanut butter cookies by accident.
Yeah, somebody will make something that maybe has peanuts in it or some part of peanuts, not really thinking. I've made this recipe for 1,000 years. I'm making it again.
Or somebody uses peanut oil by accident.
Yeah, and we have no idea what the food at this place might be cooking.
Well, she would probably have to bring her own food.
Well, yeah. So work sent out a notice asking everyone to please only spray deodorant in bathrooms only. They mentioned me and I received hate mails for ages. Yeah, they probably shouldn't have mentioned who you were.
Yeah.
With it. One of the schools in our area for years used to have signs on all the doors entering into the school that said they had a staff member. I think it was one of the cleaning staff, actually, one of the custodial staff, had a severe allergy to orange products. So kids were not allowed to bring oranges in their lunch. They weren't to use anything that had an orange essence to it, like cleaning products, anything with a orange scent in it and the whole bit. And that's the way it was in that school for years. I don't know if that custodian is still there or not, or moved on to some other places. But a school with a population between staff and students of 3,000 had to do this for one person. Sometimes we accommodate too much, I think. I don't know. I always thought it is my reaction, so my responsibility to avoid the exposure. Some of the staff would stand behind me and spray deodorant, and I would get in further trouble for breathing. Well, that was just nasty.
Mm-hmm.
That's just nasty. As much as I would like to walk into the room smearing peanut butter on a big slice of bread, munching down a big jar of Planters nuts, and, using a cologne that's called Essence du Peanut, wearing that, walk over to the person, lean over and go, "How you doing?" Okay. Yeah. No, that's not going to happen. I'm not going to do that. Oh, well, what can you do? I think it was more or less her attitude was like, I told you. Like, give us a break. We haven't even got there yet. So, if you fall on the floor and you're comatose, maybe we'll just step over you in that case and go, "Oh, well, at least she's quiet now." I have a feeling this person is a drama queen. I do predict that at some point during the days we are there, this person is going to make some sort of scene like, oh, I don't know what's wrong with me. And then there'll be 3 women flock over and go, "Oh, dear, what's going on with you? Someone call 911. No, it's okay. I'll be fine. You know the type I'm talking about? Always has to be the center of attention. I'll just keep on sewing. If you're dead in the morning, we'll know. Yeah, or whatever." So that's something to look forward to. Drama, yay.
What'll even make people even more mad is if she doesn't show up.
Yeah, we could have had nuts.
And everybody's accommodated for it.
We could have had nuts. Oh, jeez. I do like my peanut butter, but it's okay. For the few days I'm there, I will live without peanut butter. Okay, that'll be my personal little sacrifice to accommodate this individual. And on that note, I think it's time to go bye-bye. So, no idea what next week's topic's going to be. Please send me some ideas. We're running out here. We probably should do an art attack at some point in time, but I'm just not sure. Maybe next week. Well, actually, no, next week's not so good. It's because I still have that class maybe when I don't have that class on Sundays anymore, which is next week technically is the last one of that. And then the weekend after that's art journaling class. And then the weekend after that, we're at the retreat. Okay, it may be some time in the middle of March by the time we get to that. But anyways, we do look forward to some suggestions about topics. Nothing's taboo, we say right now. And so everybody have a good, what's left of your day.
Yeah,
If you're in
night.
Australia, have a good Monday. And we'll see everybody next week. And my vlog is up tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.